Our third recipient today comes to us from Intel. Ms. Cammie LeBlanc began her work in the technology industry in the 90s. In a lot of ways, her work career path is the trajectory of a lot of the folks who created the technology underpinnings that you experience. You know, people talk quite a bit about how when you work in an area, you're building off the work of others. Technology, it's especially true. In technology, everything we have comes from the people who engineered ahead of us. And she has been through that entire pace. In the 90s, she began working with the U.S. Department of Energy as a software developer, which is good. That's an important place and kind of follows what Kate Gallego was talking about, government service. What's interesting, though, especially, is that Ms. LeBlanc she worked with the Department of Energy doing security. She was involved in making sure that our infrastructure for energy wasn't hacked, which now we take for granted. However, to put it in perspective, she was doing this work at a time when most of us didn't have emails. You know, she was that far ahead of it. She worked in that space and she grew in that space. And then from there, she went on to Intel. And for the last many, many years, she's been with Intel as a software developer, a leader, a line manager, and currently she oversees international business development. And importantly, she is also the diversity manager. And why that's relevant is that across her career as a technologist, as someone who laid the groundwork for what is coming ahead, she did it as a woman. Did it at a time when there were very few women doing the kind of work she did. And she succeeded through all of it by being energetic, profoundly competent, very precise in her work. And at the end of the day, someone that people said, yes, this is an icon for what great technology looks like and a great technology leader looks like. She has a great future ahead of her. She has a passion for taking what she's done and increasing it forward in ways I talked about in my earlier address, as far as creating opportunities and pathways so people from all perspectives embrace technology work the way it should be, because it is the driving force of our future. So for all these reasons, we're very, very pleased to award Ms. Cammie LeBlanc an honorary doctor of the University of Advancing Technology. Cammie, please come forward.
Wow. That was very amazing. Thank you so much for that introduction. President, Provost, members of the illustrious faculty, staff, distinguished guests, families, and friends, and most importantly today, welcome and congratulations to you, the hard-working graduates who are truly distinguished, for it is you who have innovated, examined, created, and labored along in your individual pursuits to be recognized here today. I want to thank the administrators and faculty who create the amazing environment of innovation and inspiration in this fast-paced world of advancing technology through this university, providing the platform and framework for students who have the desire to innovate for our future. It is indeed an honor for me to be here today. So when one is conferred with an honor like this, one really has to ask oneself, what have I done to deserve it? I work in the vast and rapidly changing world of technology, and if you have been exposed to this wonderful and exciting world of innovation and creativity, understand what we work hard for, to constantly innovate and create the technology the world needs to continuously evolve and make the world a better place for future generations. I'm an ordinary person. Who has had, an extraordinary journey, and I would like to share a small piece of my story with you today to hopefully inspire every graduate here today to find your passion and live your dreams. In the early 1980s, I graduated from high school and really didn't have a plan for what to do with my life after graduation. I had thought about college a little bit, but I didn't come from money, and my only real motivation to go to college was to be the first in my family to graduate from a university. So if I was going to go to college, I had to figure out first how to pay for it, and then what to major in. And I talked to family members and friends, and based on some of their advice that supposedly doctors and lawyers made a lot of money, or so it was in that time, I chose the doctor route and became a pre-med major. But my first experience at seeing blood flow from another human being led me to seriously rethink my options. So I went straight to my college counselor and said, "This is not for me." And we started a conversation. A conversation about finding my passion, and living my dreams. And she asked, what were my aspirations? What did I like? Where did I see myself in 5 or even 10 years? Things I had never really thought about until that very moment. And no one ever really sat down with me and had that conversation, that you should really think about what you want to do after you graduate from high school. So I told my counselor I like math and figuring out things and how they work. And when she asked why, I responded with a resounding, because it's hard. And you have to take things apart and put them back together to figure out the solution. Sound familiar? So with that, my counselor told me that I should look into the major in the field of engineering and technology, and told me that even though it was predominantly a male career field at the time, where less than 15% of engineering graduates were female, and most of the jobs were in aerospace and dynamics for corporations like Boeing, Motorola, Honeywell, and NASA, there were a handful of females that were majoring in the field at that university. So I checked into it. And I was a little familiar with computers and the way they operated it. So after checking out the curriculum, I thought it sounded intriguing, and I went ahead and enrolled. And using breadboards and various circuitry, I ended up designing refrigerators, washers and dryers, and Coke machines with the then current technology. But being a female in a predominantly male major, I faced a lot of roadblocks, a lot of challenges, a lot of naysayers along the way, asking me questions like, why would a woman choose a career in engineering? True story. But I never gave up, because for me, it filled my passion, and I fell in love with it. It was what I wanted to do, and no matter how many roadblocks were placed in front of me, no matter how many obstacles I had to overcome, I refused to give up. I even had 2 jobs to pay for college on top of the full schedule. I was a coffee shop waitress in a 24-hour truck stop, and I worked on the line at the Pepsi-Cola bottling company making soda. Although challenging jobs in their own way, and certainly not aligned to my focus areas in college, it got me through, and it paid my way, and it helped me to achieve my goal. And several years later, as I walked across the platform to accept my diploma, I closed a chapter of my life I never thought would be written. And not only did I overcome the challenges I faced and was the first to graduate in my family from a university, but I now had the opportunity to have a career in something I was passionate about, something I loved. And I sat where you're sitting right now. I had a degree, and now I needed to figure out what to do with it. And over the next 25 years, I tried many different roles with my newly acquired skill set, where I worked for the U.S. Department of Energy in areas like safeguards and security. I was the Apple Computer K-12 and higher education representative for the state of Arizona. I even started my own computer dealership by building computers and network systems from scratch out of my garage. And I grew a company to a multi-million-dollar corporation, winning just-in-time contracts for Sandia and Los Alamos National Laboratories and the state of New Mexico Apple Computer Dealership, K-12 higher education dealership. So I tried many things, and I failed several times, but I learned from my mistakes. I picked myself up, and I moved on. And the last job I acquired, I've been with for the past 16 years. I work for Intel, where some of my successes have included building our original security and encryption cryptography organization that develops solutions for the movie and music industries through digital transmission licensing and high-definition content protection, which most people more commonly know as cable TV providers, music stores such as iTunes, being able to securely and legally deliver content to your home. And with entertainment companies like Toshiba, Sony, Panasonic, and Matsushita to securely and legally deliver your movie and music experience to your device of choice. I've also worked as an international business development manager in countries spanning the UK to Israel, India, Malaysia, and Mexico and China along the way. Enabling solutions for in-vehicle infotainment systems for Ford and BMW, working on solutions for autonomous vehicles, and connecting homes, connecting cities, and working on technologies that connect the lives of every person on the planet. I'm an Intel ambassador for college recruiting and an Intel champion, leader and spokeswoman for the Diversity and Inclusion Initiative our CEO, Brian Kurzanich, talked about at the beginning of this year. And when I first started in the industry, I was always conscious of not wanting to stand out for anything except my work. I just wanted to fit in and get along as just one of the guys. I didn't want anyone making an issue of my gender, and I never wanted to raise issues around it either. But over the years, I've slowly recognized that as a woman, I bring unique and valuable perspectives to everything I work on. Not only have I grown in my education, skills, business acumen, and awareness in technology and engineering on a global scale, developing the various solutions and products you are now using to tweet, record this event to YouTube, Facebook with your friends, schedule your next Uber ride, or perhaps a dinner reservation for later. But I've also taken on a personal journey, and that is to raise awareness around diversity and inclusion in engineering and technology from K-12 to higher education. The fields of engineering and computing technology have not kept pace with other fields in hiring and retaining a diverse workforce. In 1960, women made up only 1% of engineers in the workforce. And in 2013, over 50 years later, women made up just 12% of engineers. While white males made up more than 51% of the computing workforce and 68% of the engineering workforce. Conversely, American Indian and Alaskan Natives make up less than 1% combined computing and engineering professionals. It's not just about men versus women. It's about achieving better results with innovative solutions inspired by diverse perspectives and removing the unconscious bias that exists in all of us. A diverse workforce reflects and gives companies better insight into their increasing diverse customer base. As globalized markets have expanded participation among diverse populations, having individuals with an organization that truly understand the varied customers, their culture, values, ideas, and thinking will make an organization more effective. I believe that building a diverse workforce starts by lighting the same passionate fire as my university counselor did for me. Students at every level of education. At the K-8 levels, I help students learn and become interested in the technological possibility with things like learning how to build drones, droids, and robots. And as they enter high school, get them interested in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and security. And keeping their passionate flame lit at the university level by implementing a mentorship program where students can receive guidance from business professionals in the fields of engineering and technology all the way through graduation. If I could give you something to think about over the next several weeks, months, and years, it would be this. Technology is transforming just about every single business sector on the planet at an unprecedented pace, and it is accelerating. Those sectors not included now will be. Barriers to entry points that have stood for decades are being challenged and broken away. Just look at what Uber has done for the taxi and limousine industries. The power once held at a company level is now in the hands of the consumer, and expectations are being set very high. Social media comments and reviews can make or break a product or experience in a matter of milliseconds. At a company, the power is now held at the individual and small team level, where they can create new ideas, fail, go back to the drawing board and try again, and get their successes to a global market. Every graduate candidate here today has amazing opportunities ahead of them in a global environment. Take your degree and expand. Expand your awareness and your knowledge. Use it to create something wonderful and amazing that has not yet been thought of. This is only the beginning. You will have many journeys to choose from in your life and many opportunities to take what you have learned and solve some very complicated problems for our planet, or to connect our lives and experiences to those around the planet. So find your passion and live your dream. Learn the business acumen side of your career within your current location, expanding broadly across the United States, and then comparing it to what is going on globally. Know the competition, but don't follow it. Rather, lead it. You must be able to combine the technical knowledge, the business expertise, the creativity to do amazing things amazingly fast. Create a strategy about what you want your journey to look like and align it to your passion. Where do you want to be and what do you want technology to look like 5 years or even 10 years from now? And have a plan to obtain the goals of the strategy, but understand that a plan can and will change as you evolve in your career, in your knowledge, awareness, and understanding of how the world operates and connects. Keep asking why and what if. So what's the difference now? What has changed? Which assumptions do people make that are no longer true? And imagine the unimaginable. Be bold and lead. When you fail, learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. Don't let obstacles get in your way of living your dreams. Find mentors that can help you along the way and ask them the tough questions. Ask about their successes and failures and what they've learned. Be candid and ask for advice. Tell them what you're trying to accomplish so that they can provide guidance on what to do next. And keep up on the trends and read about what is being forecasted in technology. Look for futurists to follow. My favorite futurist is Intel's own Brian David Johnson, and you can follow him on Twitter at Intel Futurist. He not only has a crystal ball on the future of technology, but was the key inventor of the 21st Century Robot Project in bringing robots to human-like existence. Diversity and inclusion is so very important. It's not about male versus female. It's about having different people from different backgrounds, cultures, skills, education, and statuses all coming together to implement an idea. It's not about everyone agreeing to the idea, but more about everyone being heard, maximizing the velocity and volume of information flow, and then rallying around the best answer. Opportunity is everywhere. Ambitious people who want to build the technology for those opportunities are everywhere. As we look out into the future, we all know many challenges await us in technology, in security, in society, and everything we will do, see, feel, touch, and even taste. And we have the opportunity to continue to drive future generations of technology from connected homes and cities, autonomous vehicles, robotics, security, gaming, graphics, holography, quantum computing, healthcare, and the desire to connect the lives of every person on the planet. The opportunities are endless. And through hard work and ingenuity of every student here today, we will find ways to continually chart the path forward. So let's get started on the next chapter of your journey. How will you serve the world? What does the world need that your ideas and creativity can provide? Yes, I've been a part of the development of the technology the world has seen come and go over the past 35 years, and I see the technological opportunities the future holds. You are the generation that will create the technology for your future, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you will invent for mine. And as Intel's founding father, Robert Noyce, once said, "Don't be encumbered by history. Go off and do something wonderful." Thank you. Thank you very much to the University of Advancing Technology. I'm deeply honored for this award. Thank you.